Hey, it is Friday the 13th around here. That's why I got my orange and black, thinking of Halloween. Nope, I was just happened to go to the Giants game yesterday with my daughter Lizzie, and we walked by the dugout store and she says, "Dad, look, they've got Aloha shirts with Giant stuff." Gee, do you think I need one? I guess I did. Anyway, had a good time yesterday at the game with Liz. And some interesting things going on this week. I'm going to talk a little bit about some chords and what the E7 plus 9 kind of deal. Oh, why do we need that? What's the scoop on the fifth? And a few other theory things are kind of coming up today because that's sort of what's been big on my mind. But I'll run through a little bit of what we did first, and then I got a song in my head too that's sort of related to. A lot of songs lately have been kind of coming up because of things I'm working on with students, and I mentioned in the lesson, if you haven't seen it, the Till Tuesday song came up because one of my beginning students came in and said, "Hey, I want to learn this song that I heard by Aimee Mann." Anyway, so and haunting song, I love that tune, Voices Carry. So I hope you got, and that's also leading me to some of the songs that are coming up. I'm going to try to do a little bit more of the ear training stuff, a little bit more songwriting stuff, as I can see what's been going on with Sandy and everything else there too. So wait, let's not talk about the future yet. Let's talk about the past. Here's what else happened this week. Last week I talked about more songs, except what happened was there were a couple things about the geography thing that were bugging me, and it was getting to intervals so that you can recognize things, major sevenths and minor sevenths and sixths, or at least see how they fit on the guitar. We're going to get into the ear training part of that in the near future, but now I'm going to give that a little rest for a second. Unusual chord progressions. I'm not sure if this is even going to work. I don't know why I started doing this. Uh-oh, we're going to have to go an octave. Comes up partly because of what was going on with Voices Carry. Boy, other songs that do that too, that change keys. Okay, should think these things out a little bit more carefully before I head off into stuff. Oh, well, let's see, where was I? What else did we have this week? Brought in one more open mic. A few more of those still coming up, and let's see, what else is going on with that? Okay, I really want to get to the theory stuff that I want to talk about today. And some of that was the fly on the wall that we put out today, that it was Ed, who is just kind of heading into retirement, which means he's going to have a lot more time to play stuff. So the lesson that we had this week was kind of a review, but it was a lot of stuff that was really rusty. So I hope you guys got some of that, because some of what we were talking about in our whole musical universe and looking at notes on the piano and things like that were related to what's happening with the geography series. And anyway, so hope you got something out of that one. Now to get to a couple of the questions that have been going on. One is the question about the E7 plus 9 chord. Do we play a fifth in it? The answer in general is that you really only need, you get the sound you need out of most chords without the fifth. Now, exceptions would be if the fifth is altered, which would be diminished or augmented chords. If a chord's diminished or augmented, you can't leave out the fifth. But if it's major or minor based, then the fifth is automatically heard as an overtone of the bass note. So if I play this low E, the fifth of that chord is a B. And if I stop, we may not be able to get good enough audio for this, but if I hit that E really hard and then stop it, yeah, I can hear it, but you probably can't. But I'm hearing a B ringing right there. This open B string gets ringing as an overtone of the E, as does this high E string too. But I'm sure that's not transferring, getting through the audio that we're happening here. So yes, fifths can be left out of chords because they are the first overtone, well, technically the second, of a bass note when you play, or a fundamental as it's called. So because it's the same note in a major chord or a minor chord, it doesn't really affect the chord. So if I just play two notes that are a third apart, we're hearing that as an A chord. Right there, that has the harmony of a chord, even though I'm only playing an A and a C sharp. I've got an A in the bass in this case, and a C sharp, and then another A. Or if the chord were minor, let me think how I want to, same thing. No, that one has them all. Here would be the same chord with just two roots, an A and a C. You can hear it. I mean, you hear the minor tonality. So fifths, generally unimportant. Now, this songwriting thing. Sandy and I had a lesson today, or this week, where we kind of talked about everything that's happening with the songwriting thread, and I'm going to try to get to some pointers on that. I think you guys have gotten a lot of clues so far, but really the best thing is start with a chord progression. Boy, I'm not sure about that one. Okay, that's a little too far out there, but if you want to mess around with that and try to see if you can come up with some melodies with it, don't. Let's stick with some things a little bit more conventional. But I'm going to try next week to put up at least one or two kind of chord progressions without melodies, and then maybe one or two with melodies. I'm not sure yet. I'm still kind of brainstorming on this, but I can see that there's a lot of demand for it, or a lot of people would like to get a little bit better at songwriting, and all you got to do is start with a chord progression, or maybe kind of a bass line thing. Now I can do it again. Not sure where that one's going, but always fun to just kind of improvise and see what's happening. So I think that was it we had this week of things to mess with. I think maybe I'll just try a little bit more improvising while we're here. just heard. Oh, I should do a lesson on this. Let's see if I can remember it. I'm gonna have to go listen to this. Never mind. Okay, played way too many really old things, I think, and stuff today. I think that is it. I'm checking out for Friday the 13th. And I will always remember, first day I had this giant shirt. See you next week.